WHOW.
Top of the morning. Thanks for being with us. I'm your host today, Seth Lawrence. The WHOW Morning Show streams to Facebook and YouTube, brought to you by Peterson Insurance, your Pekin Insurance agent in Clinton. My guest in studio today from the Lincoln Police Department, Chief Joe Meister with us. Chief, always good to see you. How you doing?
Good. Thanks for having me again.
Yeah, thanks for coming out and talking with us. You've got a couple of your officers with you today. Introduce us to who you have in studio with us.
I brought with me Christy Fruge, District 27 School Resource Officer, and Officer Jason Rohrer, Lincoln Community High School School Resource Officer, and both of which are DARE officers too.
Sure.
Probably our most seasoned DARE officers, and Christy actually runs that program.
Very good. Very good. Now, Christy, you were telling me basically from day one of school starting, you're in the classrooms getting ready to talk with the kids and about the DARE program, and a lot of changes to the program over the years. First of all, introduce us to the DARE program in Lincoln and kind of where things start with that.
So the DARE program started off in the 80s, and it was the Just Say No program that was based out of California.
Mm-hmm.
It hit big with police departments. There was a ton of DARE officers, super popular. DARE quickly figured out that they were sending officers into the classrooms, and these kids knew more about drugs than what they did.
Mm-hmm.
They decided they needed to do something different. So they revamped the program, made the program a kindergarten through high school program.
Mm-hmm.
And it's all about evidence-based learning, making good decisions, teaching kids from a young age to make good decisions, and giving them tools to make those good decisions. So,
Sure.
We'll go into kindergarten, first grade classes and talk to kids about not talking to strangers.
Mm-hmm.
If your ball rolls out into the street, you don't just run out there and get it. So
Sure.
starting and building upon that. The point behind that being, if you teach a kid to make good decisions, then when they're confronted with issues like using drugs, committing crimes, they'll have the tools to make good decisions when it comes to those things.
Sure. So when are you starting to get into the classrooms, at least in the points of the school year?
When I started as school resource officer, I reached out to all of the teachers. I have elementary schools and a junior high, and told all the teachers, you want me to come in there? I'll come into your classrooms. We'll do all of the lessons from start to finish. So I actually go into a lot of the, kindergarten through fourth grade. Every fifth grade class in every school has the core program. And then we have a junior high program that we'll do every other year. Every other year they have the hospital come in and do a program as well.
Got it. Do the lessons advance as you get into say second grade, third grade, fourth grade,
Yeah.
et cetera?
As you go through the program, you start to really talk more in depth, age appropriate stuff. Like we're not going to talk to first graders about opiates,
Right.
and methamphetamines and things like that.
Sure.
Once we get into junior high age, high school, a lot of the kids, they know a lot about it already. And we'll talk about that, have, conversations about those sort of things, conversations about committing crimes that, will get them in trouble at their age. A lot of these kids think they're untouchable, and that's not necessarily the case.
Sure. We'll swing that microphone over to Jason. And when do you come into play, Jason? At what grade level do you start teaching or talking to kids?
Mainly I'm doing fifth grade here
Okay.
in Lincoln, Illinois. Christy kind of assigns us schools throughout the year and stuff like that.
Gotcha.
Washington Monroe, one of my main schools is Carroll Catholic, kind of a smaller group, which I kind of enjoy because you can really focus in on, they have approximately 10 kids, stuff like that.
Yeah.
At the end of the lessons, like I said, we do a review and everything like that. And then the thing that's enticing to them, we get to do a Peoria Chiefs basebal game
Okay.
at the end of it.
Yeah.
It's really cool. A bunch of the schools get together. They call it, like an elementary day school day. Peoria does a couple of dates where they get to do a day game, and the kids get to, watch a baseball game, and the players are really interactive with them, signing balls, giving them bats, etc. So
Sure.
kind of rewards them at the end of the 10-week lesson. And they really do enjoy that. So
what are the lessons you're imparting with fifth grade students particularly?
The fifth grade is the keeping it real lesson, the elementary ones. Like Christy said, it kind of evolves from little kids up to fifth grade. I'd say fifth grade majority in our town is kind of like our meat and potatoes of our DARE program in Lincoln. That's the ones we really hit on and make sure all of them get through the program. it's like she said, going off what she said, for every consequence, everything they do in life, there's going to be a consequence that could be positive or negative in one way, and it could impact their life moving forward,
right,
in both negative manner or positive manner. So,
yeah, sure.
I think there's some social media education that goes on with those programs.
That's where I was going to go next. Yeah. How much has that changed the game, the social media side of it, particularly your age group there, Jason? Because 5th grade kids are starting to get on their Facebook, the TikToks, the Snapchats, all those things.
Yeah, absolutely. We do hit on that in the program and stuff like that, and we just tell the kids, like, make yourself safe. Know what you're getting on. If you're getting on Discord, make sure you're talking to people it's them. So like I always give the example, if somebody tries to add you on like a Snapchat or something like that, verify that with them. Make sure it truly is Christy Fruge that tried to add you and not somebody that's trying to just add you and talk to you and portray their Christy Fruge or Joe Meister or whatnot.
Sure. And I just had the scam talk with the chief over in Monticello, particularly towards the older generation. But are you seeing like young kids falling for scams at all or at any level?
Yeah, absolutely. I know at the high school, I've had multiple ones of those where essentially like the big one we're dealing with is people saying, hey, unless you do this, send me this money, etc. I'm going to expose A, B, C, or D.
Right.
So I always tell the kids, before you do anything, let me know, because essentially it could be a scam.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, for sure. And of course, imparting that knowledge at the 5th grade level, just to be safe online and all the social media platforms. Do you still focus on the drug awareness and the original point of the program? Is that still a part of it?
Yes, it is. It's embedded in a couple of the lessons. All right. There's one that gives facts and information about drugs and alcohol and stuff like that. And a lot of it's interesting because essentially the lesson is you read them 10 different bulletin points on alcohol and drugs, and it's either do they know that fact or not, right? And it's interesting to know like kids what they do know, and I think we're seeing they know a lot of stuff because of social media, their phone and stuff like that. But DARE does a good job of implementing stats and putting numbers to their information. So
yeah,
I think what I remember off the top of my head is like alcohol affects, it's a pretty large number, amount of people throughout, a year. I basically take that kids love sports. So I'm like, look, what's some of the bigger stadiums in the United States? We look it up. We're like, imagine that stadium full of people and it affects that many people.
Yeah.
So they're like, holy cow, that that
brings it to life for them.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, definitely. When it comes to, I'm curious, have you been around long enough? Like now that you're in the high school, are you having students that you were teaching in DARE back in 5th grade? They're now in high school.
Yes, absolutely.
So what's the feedback like from, like, are they taking what you had to tell them back in 5th grade and it's paying off for them in high school? Does that make sense?
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. I've had kids that, I've had them in 5th grade. Now they're in high school. Right. And like I said, it all reverts back to, everything you do in life, there could be a positive or negative consequence. And a lot of kids, unfortunately, emotions get the best of them in high school and whatnot. And they've had conversations with me. Like, yes, we remember when we had that lesson. You told us, unfortunately, I'm going through a negative consequence because of what I did.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I'm like, yeah, exactly. So,
and you can come back and reinforce that with them.
Absolutely.
Sure. Chief, was there anything you wanted them to speak on more for the DARE program?
We could talk a little bit about what's coming up in DARE. So every year we host the Illinois DARE Officers Training Program at the Lincoln Police Department for 2 weeks. That'll be in February, and Christy actually runs that show, the whole deal. So
yeah, tell us about this, Christy.
Yeah, I was 2016, 17. I was asked to be the state of Illinois DARE coordinator. Sounds very important, but it pays nothing. I'm just very passionate about the program. I didn't want it to go away in Illinois. Illinois is one of the most successful states when it comes to the DARE program. A few years ago, we sent 58 Chicago police officers through the program. Chicago figured out we got to do something better to reach our youth, and DARE was the answer. So we're really growing. We host the training in February of every year at the Lincoln Police Department. And we've had officers from all over the United States. We had one a few years ago from Alaska. That was pretty cool. He told us how he had to get on 3 different puddle jumpers through Alaska to finally get on a jet to make it here. New York, California, all over. I've got 11 officers signed up for February already. We max out at 20 this year. And
how often are you doing this?
Every year.
Oh, every year. Okay.
Every year.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's very rewarding, and it's nice. I'll have a lot of seasoned DARE officers that'll say, can I pop in and visit the class and just talk about how the program has affected me and things like that. So it is, it's a tight knit group. You know, we're all out to do one thing, and that's to reach our kids and to help them, you know, make better decisions growing up.
Didn't you win an award for your DARE work?
I did. I got the Illinois DARE Officer of the Year award.
That's pretty cool.
It was. I was completely stressed out though, because as the coordinator, I have a training team. We have a board, and I kept putting out these emails saying, you know, hey, we need to get some nominations for the State of Illinois DARE Officer Award, and we weren't getting anything. And I'm like, this is going to be so embarrassing. How do we not have any? Well, come to find out, everybody else had a different plan. I was that person, and they weren't just sharing.
Unbeknownst to you, you were the one that they were nominating.
Right,
That's pretty cool, for sure, for sure. Guys, anything on DARE we didn't touch on? Chief, anything you wanted Jason or Christy to speak on?
I think it was a pretty comprehensive conversation.
Yeah.
It touched on a lot of points. It's hard to get it all in there. It's a busy program, and
Definitely.
these guys are. It's not just when they're in the classroom. It's also when they're out on the street that they're doing the same job as a DARE officer, making contact with kids in the community, and making a difference.
It's all about building relationships.
Definitely. Christy, can folks follow the DARE program like on social media or anything? You mentioned there?
Illinois, it's the Illinois DARE Officers Association has a Facebook page. We put things on a Lincoln Facebook page here and there. You know, when we do things, we do a lot of cookouts and host parties for kids and things like that. So we try to get as much out as we can. Yeah. So people, you know, can see what we're doing.
Very good. Well, on that note, guys, let's take a break here. Come back with some more. Lincoln Police Chief Joe Meister with his DARE officers, Christy Fruge and Jason Rohrer, in studio with us. More to come with them on the morning show.
WHOW. ILFB.org. Let's check the markets now on the RFD Radio Network. I'm Jim Taylor. Corn, beans, and Chicago wheat all lower at this hour. December corn down 4 3/4, 4.29 1/4. March corn down to nickel, 4.41 3/4. May corn, 4.50 1/4, down 4 3/4. November beans down 2.5, 10.77 3/4. January beans down 1.5, 10.93. March beans 11.01 3/4, down 3.5. December wheat down 9.5, 5.22 3/4. March wheat 5.38 1/4, down 9.5. December bean meal 3.1030, up $1.60. December bean oil 49.25, down 91 cents. Livestock trade October feeders 347.50, down 37 cents. October live cattle 231.87, up 47 cents. December lean hogs 81.07, up 30 cents. Energy market December crude oil down 41 cents, 60.07.
AgriTalk is the radio talk show for American agriculture. Hi, everybody. I'm Chip Flory, your host. We join you weekday mornings from 10 until 11 on WHOW, on AM and FM, and on the WHOW streams. We provide farmers and ranchers with timely insights and information aimed at improving their operations. Join me, Chip Flory, weekdays at 10:06 on Central Illinois Ag Station, WHOW.
At First National Bank and Trust Company, we believe in relationship banking. That means real people like Lance, Braden, Jesse, and Sabrina ready to help you. Experience community banking with big bank perks like virtual support, reward checking, and ATM refunds. Make the switch to First National Bank and Trust Company in Clinton today. Member FDIC.
Your friend in Central Illinois, WHOW.
Once again, good morning. Thanks for being with us. I'm your host today, Seth Lawrence. The WHOW Morning Show streams to Facebook and YouTube, brought to you by Peterson Insurance, your Pekin Insurance agent in Clinton. Again, my guests in studio today with the Lincoln Police Department, Chief Joe Meister and his DARE officers, Christy Fruge and Jason Rohrer. Let's talk, Chief, about, of course, Halloween tomorrow night. And City of Lincoln, shuts down an entire street, it sounds like. I didn't know they did that.
Yes, sir. For as long as I can remember, and I'm sure even longer, the 100 block, 1 and 200 blocks, I think, of 10th Street, the first section of 10th Street that is west of Union is shut down during Halloween trick-or-treating time.
Okay.
There's a resident there on that block that opens his doors. The entire community puts out a giant spread of Halloween decorations and offers candy to the kids. And that block is usually packed. So
Nice.
Pretty neat thing that goes on every year in Lincoln on Halloween.
All right. So that's a big, busy area. You don't allow vehicle traffic through there then,
No,
do you?
The streets will be blocked in that area.
When you
People have to
close
park.
those off?
It'd be just before trick-or-treating starts at 5 p.m. So trick-or-treating in Lincoln on October 31st, this Friday, is from 5 to 8 p.m. And that area will be closed to traffic.
Any other hot spots for trick-or-treaters?
The Lincoln Police Department.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We always have trick-or-treating at the Lincoln Police Department in the front parking lot. We'll have officers handing out candy there. There's a few neighborhoods that are pretty popular, I think, because there aren't too many busy streets in them,
Gotcha.
especially on the east side of town. It gets pretty busy over there.
Like Mayfair area?
Mayfair, what's the Welch Drive and
Like Airport Road?
and all that stuff south of.
By Chester East.
Yeah,
Yeah.
right by
Oh,
north.
yeah, yeah.
Neighborhood north of Chester East School. That's a popular one.
Sure. Gotcha. Very good. Any tips or anything for folks going out for trick-or-treating this year that you usually send?
Yeah, think safety. Think about all of the kids out there who may not be wearing a brightly colored costume. So take it slow. For those driving, make sure that you leave your lights illuminated, your headlights and taillights illuminated when you're traveling from house to house. For those walking, obviously bright colors are best to wear, but if not, carry a flashlight with you. Help keep you visible to those who are driving their kids from place to place.
Sure. So 5 to 8 trick-or-treating in Lincoln?
Yep,
Got
5 to 8.
All right. So keep that in mind. Sounds like it's going to be a busy time in Lincoln. Do you get much in the way of calls Halloween night, or is everybody pretty chill?
It's usually pretty busy.
Is it?
Yeah.
What are your common calls, if you don't mind me asking?
It depends on the time of night. So we'll get calls about prowlers and things like that. 'Cause, kids will want to skip through
Do some
the yards
pranks
to get
and
to,
yeah.
There's some pranks, smashing pumpkins, pretty innocent things, but it's usually a pretty busy night.
You been around Halloween on a Friday before? I can't remember the last time Halloween fell on a
I was
Friday.
thinking about that. It's been.
Yeah. Ages, feels like, at least. Yeah. So I just curious if there'll be an increase in calls and traffic and all that stuff. Yeah, definitely.
Weekends, the call volume always goes up. Anyway,
Yep.
so.
Yep. Definitely. Very good. Well, on that note, Chief, anything Halloween related we missed you want to put out there for us?
I know that the city has held some pre-Halloween trick-or-treating functions that were really successful. I think there's a Light the Night going on at Lincoln Christian Church. Is that tonight, or it might be yeah. So they'll have some emergency vehicles out there with their lights on.
Yeah.
They're going to hand out candy and welcome the community there.
Got it. You mentioned to me you did some training in October. How'd that go?
Yeah, so personally, I did a lot of training in October. I had to focus on a few different areas, but department-wide, actually, multi-agency training that we hosted at the Lincoln Junior High School to test ourselves and improve our skills on an emergency response to a major incident at a large building with a high population, such as a school. So we learned a lot during that training. Lincoln Fire Department, Logan County Paramedics Association, the Logan County Sheriff's Office, and Lincoln Police Department all participated in that event.
Yeah.
I think it was the first time that we had that many agencies involved in a live training scenario. So
that seems to be pretty common anymore, is multi-agency, training and stuff. So
as it should be, that's how it actually goes down in real life when something happens. And, it's best to be prepared. It's uncomfortable to have to think about, we need to train for those things. But I'd rather be, and I said this once before in an interview, I'd rather be uncomfortable and prepared than unprepared and uncomfortable.
Yeah, right. Exactly. Well, and, better to get those people together for the, first time at a training rather than first time at an event,
Absolutely.
So,
Our kids were out of school that day, but the staff was still there. So it was great for the staff to be involved. The majority of them had never been through something like that.
Yeah.
We do lockdown drills, excuse me, every year. We do lockdown drills with the students there. The teachers kind of walk the kids through. If something happens, this is what you do. The teachers had never been through an actual scenario, and they were stressed out about it. Working up to, even a couple weeks before, I had phone calls and emails and office visits of people saying, I don't know if I can do this. I'm like, we've got this. You've got it.
Yeah.
But it, like the chief said, it's very uncomfortable. We don't want to have to train like this, but this day and age, it's extremely important.
Now, when you're not doing DARE, Christy, are you in the schools?
I am. I have an office at the junior high, and then I have 5 other schools.
How's the junior high these days?
It's great.
Is it?
It's great. We very rarely have issues there.
Couldn't say that 20 years ago. I can speak for that.
Well, and even when I started, like my first few days, I'm like, what have I gotten myself into? And I'm not saying having a police officer present in the school has helped. I think
doesn't hurt.
Yeah, absolutely. I think they're not afraid of me. They're not like, oh, if I screw up, Officer Fruge is going to take me to jail. I look at myself as just another outlet for them, and I tell the kids I have an open door policy. If you're ticked off about something, before you act on that, tell your teachers, I need to go see Officer Fruge. And sometimes they'll come in. I have a couch in my office. Sometimes they'll just sit there and they'll huff and puff, and I'll like, hey, you want to talk about it? Nope.
Your counselor Fruge at that point. Yeah.
And they don't want to talk about it. And then, 20 minutes later, they'll say, I'm ready to go back to class.
Sure.
Write them a pass and they'll go.
Yeah.
Other times they come in and I can't get a word in because they're so angry about something that seems so minimal, but to them it's huge. So just being there, being an additional outlet for them, I think that's what helps more than anything.
Yeah.
I don't think it's necessarily the police presence. But
it's just having someone to go to.
Yeah.
Jason, how are things going at the high school right now?
So they're going really good too.
Yeah.
We got a good group of kids. Like I said, I don't know if can't hurt with me being present. Things are going pretty smoothly. Yeah. Just to branch off of what Officer Fruge said. Yeah, I think us being there is a good outlet for kids, right? A lot of my conversations aren't pertaining to police work. We're just there talking to kids. What do you think of the football game? What do you think of, the new 6-7 trend or whatever?
Yeah.
All right. It's always some goofy stuff that kids are talking to me about, but
just that connection. Yep,
absolutely.
for sure. Well, on that note, guys, I got to let you go. I appreciate you making time for us as always. Again, Lincoln Police Chief Joe Meister and his DARE officers, Christy Fruge and Jason Rohrer, in studio with us. Network news on the way.